Hey, everybody, welcome into the first Motivation Monday podcast for 2019. This is January 7th, 2019. Happy New Year to everybody. I know we've taken a couple of weeks off from these shows, but we're back at it and hopefully giving you a few tips to inspire you for the week. So, being that this is the first Motivation Monday in 2019, and everybody talks about New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. What we're going to talk about this week is doing something that frightens you in 2019 that has to do with music. So I want you to think about something that maybe you didn't do in 2018 that you would like to do in 2019. So let me give you a couple of examples. So maybe this is booking your first gig ever, right? Maybe this is going to the jam session that has scared you for all of 2018. Maybe this is hiring some musicians that are way better than you to play a gig with you. Something that you've just been kind of wanting to do, but have been too scared to do over the past year. I think that 2019 should be the year that you do this. So let's go through a couple of these things. Let's start with the jam session thing. Maybe there's a local jam session close to you that you just feel like all the players are so much better than you, and maybe you go down and listen to them, but you never actually take out your instrument and play. This is the year to do it. I promise you, it is not as scary as you think it is. The musicians are going to love having another person to come in there and participate in the jam session. As somebody who has hosted more jams than I can count, I don't care what the people sound like. I want them to have an open forum to test out their stuff, to get out of the practice room and play with real musicians. So it's time to put that fear to bed, and it is time to go out there and let everybody hear you're playing. Maybe you play great, maybe you fall flat on your face, but it doesn't matter. I promise you, either one of those results is going to be fantastic for you in your growth as a musician. All right, let's go on to number 2. So maybe you have never actually booked your own gig. That could be a major milestone step for you. Maybe you're somebody that wants to play some gigs, but you've never done it. Now is the time to get those chops together. It actually takes a certain skill set to go out there and get gigs, right? You've got to know what to say to the club promoter. You've got to know how to get in, how to present yourself as somebody who's worthy of having a gig at a particular place of business. We're going to do another Motivation Monday podcast on the things that go into booking your own gigs, because I think that's really important for us. A lot of people just work as sidemen, but sometimes it's going to be a major shot in the arm for you to bring your own group into a place. Start your career as a leader instead of just a sideman. I did that a couple of years ago, and it's been awesome. I've loved leading my own group. But the important part is booking that first gig, and then it will give you the confidence to go and book a bunch of other stuff. Now, of course, you have to be at a certain level to book your gig and lead your ensemble. If you're not at that level, that's fine. Just do the jam session thing. And then eventually you'll get to the point where you're going to start booking your own gigs. But if you're somebody who has wanted to do this for a while, now's the time. Get your name out there. Start leading your own group. Start being seen as a leader of bands in your area. That can do a lot for your career, or even if this is not your career, for your hobby. Nothing wrong with leading your own ensembles. Now, the third thing, maybe you want to start to play with some of your own heroes. And you'd be really, really surprised. I did this in 2018. I started calling up people that I thought were way out of my league and asking them if they wanted to do a gig with me. And you'd be really surprised at how many of those musicians would not only play a gig with you, but would love to play a gig with you. This is something that, especially rhythm section members, they're always looking for gigs. Think about it. People become musicians because they love to play music. So any opportunity that you can give somebody to play some music in a situation where they haven't before, they're most likely going to be very, very grateful and very excited to play with somebody. So I started calling up some of my favorite musicians in Boston and actually booking them for gigs. And the added benefit of that for all of you out there who are really looking to do this professionally and really looking to do this all the time is that now you get on their radar as well. And you might just get hired by them. And that's a really, really wonderful feeling when you get hired by somebody that you previously considered to be way, way, way above you. And that's the thing, is that we always underestimate our abilities. And if we feel like we're 4 tiers underneath these musicians, chances are that's not actually the case. And that these musicians that you previously put on a pedestal are really just normal people that go through the same musical struggles that you go through, maybe on a higher level, but you can really relate to them even if you didn't think that you could in the past. So there's 3 goals. I want you to pick one of those goals, whether it be the jam session, booking your own gig, or calling somebody that you would be terrified to play with to actually play a gig with you. Pick one of those and make it your goal for 2019. Do something that scares you. The only way to really, really grow as a human being and a musician is to do things that frighten us and put us out of our comfort zone. All right? So I think that's maybe the best message for the first week of 2019. Again, I hope you all had a fantastic new year. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast throughout 2018. And I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to bring you the most relevant and useful content this year. All right, we'll talk to you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.